Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is Darkthorn Artistry's channel. I am Darkthorn the Oracle. I am back open for personal reading, so the information is down in the description box below. I just want to cleanse the energies around before we get started discussing what you see on the table currently. How's everyone doing? I hope your week is starting off well. And I hope me being back is helping you guys on your journey. So, now, what you see down in front of you was a random card pull. I was sitting here talking to someone and cards just started coming up. And this isn't necessarily the order in which they came out, but it's the order in which they ended up laying out. So, can y'all see that? Okay. Ereshkigal, Queen of Shadows. I may be mispronouncing this. Wrath, Instability, Suspicion. El Shaddai, the Radiant Lord. Wisdom, Paternalism, Kindness. Osiris, God King of Duat. Commitment, Acquisition, Responsibility. Anubis, Arbiter of Truth. Preservation, Neutrality, Obligation. The Morrigan, Weaver of Fate. Antipathy, Introspection, Opposition. Danu, Mother of Creation. Motherhood, Curiosity, Creation. Aaron, Master of the Great Hunt. Authority, the Hunt, Natural Balance. Abraham, Justice of the Pandemonium. Justice, Truth, and Duty. So I decided, well, I didn't decide, but I was drawn to do this as the reading for the collective. Because the spread in itself is very telling about where we are as a collective. This collective specifically that comes to my channel. This is where we are right now. And it just seems from the layout, Divine Feminine, this is where you are. And this is where Divine Masculine is. Okay? So you're working on introspection, but the opposition to that introspection is coming through at the same time. You're working on your creations, on your motherhood. You're standing in this motherhood energy of creation, but there's opposition that's being met with that. You're pursuing things. You're taking authority. You're trying to find a natural balance in your life, and you're pursuing the hunt, but there's an opposition to that. You are pursuing justice and truth and your duty in this world. There's opposition to that. And so I feel as though, just looking at the cards and filling out the energy, there is this duality that's happening where things aren't quite going the way that you want them to go, but you're pursuing action. You're taking actions, you're taking steps. And that's why this opposition is coming in, because it's trying to slow you down in your progression. It's trying to slow you down in your growth. And there's opportunities right now to learn from this opposition and to learn from all things that are trying to stop your creation. There's a lesson in it, and it's important that you learn it. What that lesson is going to be on an individual basis, but it has a great deal to do with what your light work is in and what your journey is going to be. For the divine masculine here, he's working on wisdom. He's coming through with kindness here. He's elevating, and I'm just using he to describe the energy. So divine masculines, you're coming through with this wisdom and this kindness, okay? You're working on acquisition in your life and responsibility. You're working on commitment, because a large part of the divine masculines learning commitment in relationships is them being committed to their light work, them being committed to their King of Pentacles energy. That energy itself teaches them how to be committed in a romantic relationship. So they'll have to learn commitment when it comes down to their light work. So that's what they're learning right now. They're working on preservation, neutrality. They're working on the things that they're obligated to and what they're not obligated to. They're learning a level of, I can be a part of something, but I don't have to be directly in the middle of it. I can have an opinion or a feeling about something, but I don't have to be involved in the drama of it all, in the conflict of it all. But there's parts of this, parts of a conflict within the life of the divine masculine that's causing him to feel some wrath, causing him to feel some instability, causing him to have suspicion. And it's not only suspicion around everyone around him, but around himself. He's feeling unstable within himself. He's feeling suspicious within himself of what he's capable of what he's trying to do, of whether he's on the right path. And a lot of that uncertainty is being matched by the energy of the divine feminine, and the divine feminine not being certain about whether the divine feminine is on the right path, whether the divine feminine has the tools that the divine feminine needs to be this mother of the creation that she is trying to manifest and trying to create. And so this is going to require that the divine feminine steps into her huntress energy, her lioness energy, because in the lion pack, it's the lionesses that go out on the hunt. And they bring home the food for the carnage. The divine masculine within the lion community is there for protection and for direction. But it is the divine feminine in that community that has the vision, and that is the huntress, okay? So divine feminines, there's something about a pack mentality. That is being brought up here and being triggered here. So I'm going to pull some cards for the divine feminine, and then I'm going to pull some cards for the divine masculine. 3 for each is what's coming through here. So let's see. What does the divine feminine need to know? What does the divine feminine need to know here? I'll take this one. All right. What does the divine feminine need to know here? Okay, and what is it that the divine masculine needs to know? This divine masculine needs to know. What does divine masculine need to know? Actually, this should be reversed because that's the way it came out too. Okay, so bottom of the deck energy. union. Sit that to the side for a second. And let's look at the bottom of the deck energy from where I pulled this from. Nyx, Enchantress of the Night, secrets, vigilance, subterfuge. I'll sit this over here too. So what are we missing? All right. Divine Feminine is in denial about her emotions. Divine Feminine, you feel a type of way. You're trying to press like you don't feel a type of way anymore, like you're evolved and you're over it, you're awakened and you're over it. But it's okay to have feelings, okay? There are feelings that are lurking under the surface for you, under the surface of rejection, and it's a lot of repressed emotion in there, which is why this introspection is important here, because part of the opposition is yourself. You are in direct opposition with how you're actually feeling. So you need to verbalize the way in which you're feeling. Write it down, write it out, talk to a friend about it. Don't talk to one of your shady friends about it, okay? Talk to a friend about it. Talk to a counselor about it. Talk to somebody about how you're feeling. Or just write a letter out, type a letter out, whatever you need to do. Burn it. Don't send it. There is a lot of repressed emotions within you that has sparked this feeling of being alone amongst people. You know, that feeling of being in a crowd of people but still feeling alone in that crowd. That's how you're feeling right now. There is a sense of abandonment and of loneliness, and God wants you to understand that you're not alone, that you're not being abandoned, that you're not lost, okay? You are here with spirit guides, with ancestors, with God, whether you know it or not, with your twin flame. They are your internal love. They are a reincarnation of love for you, passion, okay? They are seeking you out. But the thing is, you have such repressed emotion that that's also bouncing off on the other side. So you need to understand that you are not alone in this journey, that your feelings aren't the only ones that are valid and that matter, that your perspective is not the only one that exists, that you are not the only one on this realm of existence going through a journey and going through an impact. You are not two halves of one whole. You're two wholes of one whole. You're two wholes of a larger whole. They have their own path that they're going through right now. And what you need to do in order to influence this union is come into union with yourself, because the way you're acting and the way you're communicating is in direct opposition of what you're feeling. It's in direct opposition of everything that your higher self is trying to tell you, okay? For Divine Masculine, they are without a sacred space. They're not communing with their higher self. They're not communing with their ancestors, source, spirit, God, the universe. They're not communing with that. They are solely relying on themselves to be able to figure this out. And that is a part of what is keeping them stuck and stagnant, because they don't have the answers. And Spirit is trying to tell Divine Masculines, y'all need to stop acting with an ego. You need to be prideless. And you need to stop acting based on self-preservation. Right now is the time to let your guard down when it comes to your ancestors, when it comes to your own self. You're guarded against yourself. And so this is where the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine are mirroring one another, because both of you are acting in direct opposition of what you're feeling. Okay? For Divine Feminine, you are acting in direct opposition of your feelings. Your feelings say that I feel alone. Your actions are saying, I'm not alone, I'm great, everything's great, I'm with all these people, I have all these friends, I have all these coworkers, I have all these associations, but none of that is speaking to the loneliness that you feel inside, the abandonment that you feel inside from this connection and from situations within your life. You have to heal that wound. For the Divine Masculine, he feels like he is acting like everything is fine, and everything is fine, but it's not fine. The only thing that is revving up in the direction the Divine Masculine wants it to go is the material world, his material world, okay? His status, his career, his money. He's really working on making his mark, and that seems to be the only thing that's going well. But since that's the main focus of the Divine Masculine at this point in time, if that's going well, he feels everything is going well. But That's in direct opposition of his actual feelings. His actual feelings outside of his ego are feelings of jealousy, are feelings of hurt, are feelings of abandonment, are feelings of not belonging, are feelings of disconnect and disassociation. And so here we see secrets. Both of you are keeping secrets from yourselves and from one another. And that is a large part of this whole mystery, okay? The union is coming. The reconciliation is coming. The only thing that's stopping you two from being together is you two. You two are holding secrets back from your own selves. So what are you going to do in union? If you can't communicate to yourself how you feel, how are you going to act in union? How are you going to be able to be open and honest in union? It's going to create a tornado. A tornado of emotion. A tornado of anger, a tornado of expectation, a tornado of self-doubt, and you're going to spiral out of control yet again. You're going to fall apart and fall away from each other in a situation where you could have just been honest with yourself, and therefore be honest with your twin flame, because they are an extension of you. You are two wholes of one whole. Think of it as a Venn diagram. You are a whole circle. Your twin flame is a whole circle. You overlap. You overlap. You're two wholes of one whole. You're not two halves of one whole. You just come together to create something great. But you're already great as your individual silos, okay? So, pull this card. The temple of my body. You have to learn to be comfortable within yourself, happy within yourself, okay? Happiness is not just designated only to when you're in union. You have to learn to be happy with yourself and protect yourself. Protect your peace. Release the secrets from yourself, okay? Release the secrets from yourself. Stop hiding stuff from your own self, okay? Learn the peace. The bride in a cage. You know what this means? And we have 21 here. This means that you are acting in direct opposition of yourself. And we have 2 here. 2 and 21. You're a bride in a cage. Or better said, you think you're the puppeteer and you're the puppet. Because you are still victim to other people's behaviors. You're still victim to other things that people have done to you, said to you, not done for you, etc. And instead of being honest with yourself and relinquishing those things, you hold yourself hostage to those things as a bride in a cage. Or groom in a cage, whichever floats your boat. And what happens when you do that is you hold other people responsible for your happiness. And nobody's responsible for your happiness but you. And this is where this denial comes in for the divine feminine. And this is where the absence of the sacred space comes in for the divine masculine. You're not communicating with your highest selves. Therefore, you're not operating for your highest good. Therefore, you are your biggest opposition right now. You are your biggest enemy right now. I saw a post and it said, yeah, you don't remember my trauma because for me, it was traumatizing. For you, it was a Wednesday. Other people cannot be held responsible for your trauma and for your sadness. Because for you, it was traumatic and they didn't even know. And if you don't even tell yourself what the problem is, how can you expect them to know? So, love, light, and blessings to you, and I'll see you in a future reading.